Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy David Firestein. Here we are with another video. Today is not a vlog. Today has nothing to do with me inside the gym. Today is a reaction video. I told you guys recently that I was wanting to get into doing different kind of videos. This is one of them. Decided that I'm going to try to do a reaction video. Sometimes gym stuff. Maybe something else I enjoy, like anime, maybe Sidemen. You know, some things for different people, build more of an audience. Like I said, just got a few ideas. So we're going to throw it at the wall. We're going to see if it sticks. So I need every single person that watches this video that takes a little bit of time out of their day to support me, to also support me by in the sense of commenting down below and let me if you enjoy the reaction. And this is some stuff we can also get some helpful information if you do enjoy it. Also, link down below in the comments if you want me to react to a certain video, because we can make this into a series. I want to do a couple of these throughout the week, outside of the Tuesday and Thursday mark. So here we go. This is the first one. It's a tester, and today's video is special. We have what I wish I knew when I started lifting, training for aesthetics, Alex Eubank. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna jump into it, and yeah, this is it.
What is going on, guys? Alex Eubank here. Welcome back to the channel. Make sure you guys like, comment, sub, turn that bell on if you have not already. We're on the road at 500K. We're on.
Yo, we on the road to 500 subscribers, not 500K. You know, we're not on the same level as this man, but yeah, you know, already a little bit in the video. Go ahead, like this video, comment if you haven't already what you want to see next in a video, and go ahead, share, subscribe. Ring that bell so you can see more of these videos, and also on top of that, just support me. It's free, man.
On track to hit it by the end of the year. Again, it's free. You can always undo it, so just go click that.
Big up.
Thank you. So yeah, a little bit different of a video today. We're gonna be basically going over the way that I like to train and how it is a little bit different than the majority of people, and it might not be politically, scientifically correct, whatever it may be. This is just what I've been able to do to build my physique, and I feel like it's different. So I you know, sometimes I see people train different, and I feel like they could definitely incorporate maybe some of these techniques to develop more of an aesthetic physique. This is how I've always believed to train. The whole concept of, I uploaded a video a year ago, basically talking about training.
All right, look at this. A year ago, right? This dude's broke millions on subscribers on TikTok and Instagram. He's almost at 500K right now. I think he's sitting in 400,000. Yeah, dude, look at these views. He's got on the transformation 197. The how I train for aesthetics, his one from a year ago is 207. Push day 219. Why am I? Oh wait, that was 11 days ago. All right.
For aesthetics, and what that means is just really I don't train to be the strongest guy in the gym. I don't train to be the biggest guy in the gym, but I train to look the best with my shirt off. I train to look the healthiest, to have the most attainably looking, just a naturally really good looking flowed physique. So very aesthetic, you know what I mean? I've always looked up to guys like Frank Zane, who weren't the biggest guys, but they always just flowed so well, and I always wanted to look like that. I never looked to like Ronnie Coleman and been like, oh, I want to look like that one day. I feel like that's just it's not attainable, you know what I mean? So I've trained a little bit different, I guess, to achieve more of this like aesthetic, you know, flowing physique. Obviously, a big part that's going to play into this is a disclaimer is like obviously your genetics. If you don't have aesthetic like muscle insertions, you don't understand what that is. It's the way that your muscle was inserted into like I think it's like the tendon or whatever it is. I'll show up some pictures to give examples of it. Again, I'm not like scientifically correct in my wording. I'm actually working on my personal training certificate. I just started it, so I'll probably gain more knowledge over that course. But right now, this is just me speaking purely on experience. But so let's say.
All right, for the ones that don't know, I was also working on my NASM CPT certification, and yeah, that kind of fell through. I failed by 2 questions, so we're on the track to retake it again. We're studying up a little bit more. We're just taking our time. We're not trying to put all of our eggs in one basket, so we're also trying to focus in different areas, which is also important, but it'll come around when it does.
Somebody has a really good bicep peak because they have short insertions on their bicep versus me, who has a long insertion on my bicep. They're always going to have a better peak bicep than me. There's no amount of bicep curls that I can do to give myself more of a peak. Same thing for chest fullness. So I have a very full chest. I don't really have a gap in my chest at all. A lot of people are born with a big gap in their chest. There's no amount of pec deck, chest flies, whatever you can do to fix that gap. It's always going to be like that. You can only build the tissue that is there, that's not there, if that makes sense. So I understand muscle insertions definitely play a very big key into how your muscles are going to be inserted. Doesn't mean you can still build an aesthetic physique. Some people are born with a wide waist, but if you really train your shoulders and you make your shoulders blow up, it can give the illusion of you having a smaller waist, which look more aesthetic. When it comes to building an aesthetic physique, I always prioritize training my chest and my back and my shoulders, because that really helped develop the V taper. Yeah, my arms slacked a little bit, but if I'm just standing there relaxed, I look very aesthetic because of the flow. It just makes you look like you have a small waist, and it looks more aesthetically appealing to the eye. So one of the big things I want to say when it comes to training, I never max out. I never do one rep max whatsoever. I feel like the risk to reward ratio is just not beneficial whatsoever. Especially for me, like why would I go do a 1 rep max deadlift, risking me hurting my herniated disc again to where I'll be out of the gym for 3 to 4 months. Same thing for 1 rep maxing on like a bench press. I'm gonna risk tearing my labrum again just so I can get lift more weight. Again, this is all gonna be different on your goals, but if you're purely trying to train to build an aesthetic physique, you don't have to squat, bench, deadlift. Like I don't squat, bench, and deadlift, and I've been able to build a pretty solid physique doing that. I'm not saying to not go do those movements. I'm just saying you don't have to train. Like a lot of people say, like you have to do that to build a physique. You don't.
Oh, look at the rags. I see
a lot of beginners in the gym who just like focus purely on that, but they're not building the mind muscle connection, which is like the main point I'm going to talk about in this whole video. Is how to build that mind-muscle connection. It's literally so key and crucial. The execution of each individual rep is what people like, especially beginners, mess up so bad. And like this is why I don't like the idea of like squat, bench, deadlift at the start. Because for example, a lot of beginners when they go in the gym, I was a culprit of this as well. I'm trying to bench press. And I'm like, yo, why am I only feeling this in my front delt?
Yo, he is speaking facts right now over that. I can vouch for that. That's where I went wrong. I'm just now recently within the last couple of months trying to get that mind muscle connection in every part of my body. Like I'm still struggling in my back. I'm halfway there with my lats. Arms, like my biceps, man, don't have that mind muscle connection there. So I totally understand what he's saying.
Versus feeling it in my chest. Same thing when I'm trying to do maybe like a squat. I'm like, yo, I don't really even feel this in my legs. I just feel like my central nervous system's getting taxed. So obviously execution plays a different role into it. But I believe doing certain, hypertrophy techniques and like focusing more on the bodybuilding aspect allows you to really, build that mind muscle connection. And the sooner you build that into your, however long you've been training for, I feel like the more you're going to actually be able to see gains. One of the best things I like to do to increase my mind muscle connection is going to be pre-exhaustion. I preach on this technique, and so
before he dives into pre-exhaustion, another thing I think that would really help with mind muscle connection is also isolating each muscle, like each side too. So if you're doing rows on a rowing machine, instead of doing both, you do one, so you can get a mind muscle connection for your back on each of those sides.
Many videos. Basically what it is you're going to pick a movement to where you feel it the most in your muscle. So for chest, I usually like recommending cable flies or a pec deck. For back, maybe like straight arm pull downs, anything to where you really can feel a big stretch and a big contraction in that target muscle group. You pick a pretty light weight, something where you do around 15 to 20 reps with, and you're going to bang out 2 to 3 sets, 30 seconds of rest in between each set, and just banging out the reps to feel blood go into that target muscle group. So a lot of people, let's say for example, you're struggling with getting a mind muscle connection in your chest, which a lot of people struggle with. Do a pec deck or a cable fly for 2 to 3 sets, 15, 20 reps. Don't really go to failure. Just really feel it stretch, contract, go slow with the movement, get blood in your chest. Once you start to feel that tightness in it is when you can move to your pressing movement. You'll see earlier in this workout, after I did that, I went to a seated hammer strength plate loaded press, and I felt my chest fire so much more, and I was able to really actively stretch it and contract it and really keep the tension on my pecs the whole entire time. The execution of my reps after doing the pec deck was way better on the plate loaded press versus if I would have just went into the plate loaded press at the start of my workout. And a pump itself is anabolic. Like it isn't really anabolic. If you don't have a good pump in the gym, it doesn't mean you're not going to grow. But I believe a pump helps with getting a better mind muscle connection. So how do you increase your pump? Taking different stim-free, pump-focused pre-workouts. A lot of you guys take stim-loaded pre-workouts that are just like a stupid amount of caffeine. Understand that caffeine is a vasorestrictor. Whatever, I don't know if that's the right word. Whatever, it's going to restrict your blood vessels. Basically, going to make them smaller. versus taking stimulant-free pre-workout, which is going to be like stim-free stuff that has a lot of L-citrulline, you know, glycerol, whatever it may be, is going to be a vasodilator, which is going to open up your blood vessels so that you have more blood flow, which can equate to a better pump. So I like taking stim-free pre-workouts before my lifts, no caffeine whatsoever, purely just to feel more of the contraction in my muscle groups. Another thing I like to do is like drop sets as well as flexing after my sets, just to get a stupid amount of blood force into that muscle.
I agree.
So you'll feel it fire so much more. I always say that when
Yo, all right, big ups right here. I have changed, switched over to using stim-free pre-workout now supplements that it's not loaded and packed with a lot of caffeine. Not saying all you guys have to do, but I am currently working with Alpha Lion, so you can use code DavidM for 10% off on your entire order. You can get a stim-free pre. You can get a pre that's loaded with caffeine mildly, or you can get a pre that is extremely loaded with caffeine, even though, you know, he has his different opinions on it. If some people like caffeine or a lot of caffeine, it has it for you. They also have good protein powder. I actually have their PB and Gains. It tastes awesome. Great supplements. Go ahead, if you're watching this, check out Alpha Lion. Use code DavidM for 10% off. That's the sponsor for today.
I have a better pump in my chest or a better pump in any muscle group, for example, I'm able to actively feel it stretch and contract. And if you know, like, about lifting, to build a muscle and to make it bigger, you need to be able to stretch and contract it. You have to generate the most amount of force on the muscle, like in the stretch position, and then that it's like I don't know the exact science, but I know that that's how it works. It's like mechanical tension, recruiting the most amount of muscle fibers. It's going to build the most amount of muscle tissue. Like there's 3 different methods for hypertrophy you need to understand. So it's mechanical tension, metabolic stress, and muscle damage. Mechanical tension is like recruiting like the most amount of muscle fibers. Muscle damage is more of like tearing down the muscle fibers by doing, like, I'd say like slow negatives or forced reps like that. And then metabolic stress is going to be more of like just getting a stupid pump, like flexing after the sets, doing high rep focused stuff. So I like to try to incorporate all these different techniques into my lifting just to make it a little bit different. One big thing I wanted to speak on, which I see a lot of people do, which I don't like, is the whole concept of doing like 4 sets of 12. Like too many times I'll see beginners in the gym and they're just like, you know, doing cable flies or whatever, and they do 12 reps and they could have done another 4 or 5 reps and they just stop at that 12th rep because that's what their program said to do. You're not training hard enough. Okay, like you can get like some gains training like that, yeah, for the first year or two, but if you're training naturally, like you have to progressively overload in terms of intensity, in terms of weight, whatever it may be in the gym, if you want to build a bigger and a better physique. How do you do that is going to be by training harder. So when I'm in the gym, I would prefer to I only do 2 exercises for my chest. Like, you guys know I have a pretty big chest, and I only do, obviously it's a genetic strong point, but I only do 2 exercises for my chest, which is crazy. I'll do 1 pressing movement, I'll do 1 fly movement, but I make sure all 8 or 9 of those sets that I'm doing are executed 100% perfectly, meaning I'm going to failure.
The next point he's going to be talking on is non-counting reps. That's a big thing. We already talked about the 4 by 12, 4 sets 12. Pretty big thing there. You do reps, but the way that if you have a 4-12 on your program is you want to have a weight that's designed for you, so you're struggling by the 11th and the 12th rep, that the 12th rep might not come up. That's the idea behind the 4 sets of 12. You shouldn't be using a weight that you're going to hit for 12 and be able to hit for 15 or 16. It's just not ideal.
My reps in my sets, which is crazy, right? I just pick a weight to where I feel like it's the heaviest weight that I can control, and then I just rep it out like crazy. And let's say I only get 6 reps, which isn't a lot.
One thing with him just saying that, I'm sorry to pause again, but it's okay to grab heavy weight and rep it out as many as you can, but you gotta make sure you have good form and that you're not getting out of line, because that's when injuries come into play. So just keep that in mind.
I'll do some partial reps, and then after that, maybe I'll do a drop
Partials
set.
Are fire.
So I'm still getting adequate volume if I was able to do like 12 reps or whatever. It's just I pick the weight that I feel is the heaviest that I can control. Okay, I never track the amount of reps I'm doing. I just like pick that weight. I'm like, okay, we're gonna hit failure this set. So how I hit failure is I do as many full range of motion reps that I can do, and then when I can't do that anymore, I'll do as many partial reps that I can do. And when I can't do that, I'll do a drop set, or maybe I'll flex after the set as hard as I can. And then that one set that you do like that is going to equal like 3 or 4 different sets you just doing 4x12. So just remember, like, again, like I said, I don't like to track my weight. I train purely off of like instinct, which again might not be scientifically correct, whatever it is. But I like to enjoy the way I train in the gym, so I just purely find what feels good. If I'm doing a movement in a program, whatever it may be, and I do not feel it in the target muscle group, I will take it out of the program or I will substitute it for something else. I'm not going to waste 4 working sets on an exercise that I do not feel when I could just go to one that I know that I'm going to feel and then do that one for 4 sets, right? So
cannot stress that enough when he says that. If you're doing an exercise and you do not feel you hitting in the right group that you're wanting to hit out of that muscle, don't do it.
So if you guys want to answer when it comes to how much volume I think you should do, I think training each muscle group twice per week is great. I enjoy 3 to 4 day splits. I don't think bro splits are good, especially for a natural lifter.
3 days, 1 on.
You don't need that much volume for one muscle group. And then when you're doing those 2 times per week, I would say working sets for your smaller muscle groups, like your biceps and your triceps. I don't think you have to do any more than 2 exercises for those muscle groups. Just make sure you're doing 3 to 4 active, like, hard sets, and make those 8 sets actually count. Meaning you're training to failure. Maybe you're doing a drop set with it. Maybe you're flexing the muscle group after the set. You're really making sure those eight sets count, and they'll feel like you did 16 sets. You know what I mean? So it's better to get a more bang for your buck training more intense. That's what I believe. Again, if it's not politically correct or scientifically correct, I'm sorry. It's just how I train.
Everyone has their own way of training. That's the biggest thing that I can stress right now. Everyone has their own way of training. There are things that are very optimal for a person to do, and there's just some things that are just average for people to do. And there's just some things people are just comfortable with doing. There's some things that people aren't comfortable with doing. A lot of it comes down to preference and what works for your body. That's the biggest thing.
The bigger muscle group, like I'd say your chest, your back, your legs. I like sticking around 3 exercises. Obviously, I only do 2 for my chest because my strength and my strong part.
That's understandable.
If your strength isn't your chest, and you probably should do more. For your chest, back, legs, 3 exercises is always solid, 4 sets each. 12 sets of volume, so it's going to equate to like 24 sets per week. Again, people might even think that's too much, but that's what I've always done pretty much. Usually when I go to the gym, currently I'm on a split where it's chest, shoulders, triceps, so it's a push day. The next day I'll do back and biceps. The next day I'll do legs, and then I'll do arms, and then I'll repeat it. It's a 4-day split. I only take a rest day when I feel it's needed. I am not a fan at all of planning your rest days. I think that's stupid, honestly, because if I feel like I wake up one day and I know that I can go to the gym and get a good workout, why would I force myself not to go? Versus there's so many days. I'd say it's every 4 to 5. Sometimes it's every 2 days if I'm like really depleting myself, where I feel like I generally need a rest day, so I'll take one off from the gym. This is again what I'm saying, where I train off of instinct. I don't like the idea of having a whole exact detailed workout plan, because I feel like given my schedule, I like to do what feels good. So if I feel like I need a break from the gym, I'll take a break from the gym. It's simple as that. If you're not taking in carbs in your intra workout or like EAAs, you're missing out on so much more of an intense workout. You're going to realize if you start training more intense, or if you watch this video and you feel like you haven't been training intense enough and you want to bump up your intensity, you're going to feel more depleted during your workout. How you hold that depletion off is by doing intra workouts. So find a good intra workout that has really fast digesting carbs, that has essential amino acids in it, that has hydration supplements in it. And that's how you're going to keep yourself operating at 100% in the gym while you're training all these super long and intense sets. A quick recap. Pre-exhaustion is your best friend. Building a mind-muscle connection is absolute key and crucial if you're trying to build a better physique. Train more intense. Don't be doing a stupid amount of volume. Make your sets actually count. Execution is key. Intra workout is awesome. Don't limit yourself to 4x12. Take a rest day when you feel it's needed. And again, if you disagree with any of this, just comment down below your disagreement and why you disagree. And again, I'm always...
So that's pretty much it for the video. I totally agree with pretty much everything that he's saying. But like I said, big thing is it just comes down to preference and what you want to switch up. But yeah, I already stated a lot of my claims. So if you guys haven't, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to this video, ring the bell for notifications. My dog is stressing me out because he's wanting to go outside. He doesn't like that I'm giving you guys attention, but he's just gonna have to get over it. He's already been outside 3 times in the last 25 minutes, so there's something out there that he wants. So yeah, as he's just smelling my shirt. But thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a blessed day. Let me know if you guys like these videos. If you want me to react to something, go ahead and link it down below. Just give me some feedback. Yeah, love you guys. Have a great day.